Hey, hello guys, welcome back to LetCode. In our previous video, we learned about the locator strategy, that is using get by. So we have like get by text, label, alt text, placeholder, title, test ID, and role. So we have discussed most of the get by locators. Today, as locator second part, we are going to learn the uh, few of the concepts. Okay, these are only specific to Playwright locators. We cannot use the same locators for Selenium WebDriver or any other framework. For example, the CSS or the XPath we can of course use in Selenium, Playwright. We can use in WebDriver, you Protector, or some other framework, right? But here, the things that we are going to learn now, it's only specific to Playwright, and this is known as Playwright locators engine. But in recent version of Playwright, the documentation, they call it like other locators. Previously it was like selector. When I covered the same topic in Playwright with TypeScript, that time it was like selector. Now they call it as locators, which is a change that I noticed. Okay, but concept is more of same. And if you go here, you can see like they mostly recommended to use the things like get by role and get by text, which is very easy, but we can achieve the same with the help of Playwright CSS locators as well as Playwright standalone selectors engine. Okay, so let's go and get started. So first of all, we are going to learn based on the text based XPath. So we know that in CSS we cannot handle the text based locators. We have to go with the XPath, but in Playwright it's going to be very easy. Okay, so let me give you the demo. So first of all, as usual, like we are going to create the stuffs, and then we'll say like page dot navigate, and our URL is going to be this test URL. Okay, so first of all, what we are going to do in the sense, like let's say that we want to click on this click link. Okay, so if I go right click and inspect, here it's a tag. That means of course it's an anchor tag, right? Anchor tag in the sense like hyperlink, right? So if I have to handle this in Selenium, I will select driver.find element by link text and dot click. In Playwright, of course, we can do that. Link text in the sense like it is going to be your text locator. For example, if you go and use the let text path also, here you can see like when we have this click as a link text, if I go and select the Playwright snippet, if I go to my settings and change this to Playwright Java, now if I go back and use the click action here, not this one, so here if I go and use the click action, you can say like, see like it says like place dot locator click within single quotes and followed by the click. Okay, so that's it. That's very simple. Actually in Playwright we can say this one. Okay, so what does it mean in the sense like, if you have a anchor tag with the text, you can just add the text within single quotes. Okay, so this is a short form. I will show you the actual syntax before that. So if I go and click on this, you can see like we have a URL as buttons, right? So I'm just going to print that one. So sys out page dot URL. Okay, and then followed by, I'm just going to close this. So playwright dot close. Yeah, let me go and run this now. Let's see. And the code is within day 12, and the class name is learn locators. If you want to see that in your GitHub, you can do that. Okay, so here you can select this is our URL and we got this. Okay, yeah, so this is basically your short form. If you have to write it in normal regular form, you have to say something like text equals and then followed by the text, that is click. Okay, then I can select dot click, and that's it. Now if I go and run this, let's see. Okay, so text equal to click, or else you can just say like within double quotes, you can make it like single quotes and you can give only the text. That should also work fine. Okay, so here you can see like we get this buttons URL, right? Okay, so that one is very easy. And here you have to remember a few things. If you have a like long text in a anchor tag, if you want to give partial, you can give it, it will go and click the partial match also. But if you have like duplicates, then it will again throw like violation error that I referred in my previous video. Okay, yeah. Now coming back to the next thing, so here is let's say that we have this button, right? So go to home is my button. So here you can see like it's a button, and then I have the text. So if I have to handle a button based on the text, I can do that. So here you can see we have the pseudo syntax as text. For example, once I go to the click, I print the URL, then I will say like page dot locator, and the locator is going to be button, that is my tag name, and then followed by colon has dash text, and within the braces we have to give single quotes and then followed by the text. Okay, then of course the click action I'm going to give it. Okay, so once I click on this particular home, so you can see like again it's going to be letCode.in. So I'm just going to do the printout statement. Of course we can do the assertion, but we'll talk about that maybe in another video. Trust me, I will teach everything, just be with me. I will go so slow and step by step. Okay, so here you can select buttons is there and the home page is also there. Okay, so this is the syntax to handle any button, or not only button, you can handle like any element, and don't use like this. Like if you use like this is not recommended, because it will go and search like your entire DOM, entire page, which doesn't make sense. So here just go to that particular tag, and if the tag has like go to home, then it will work. Now instead of go to home, if I say go to, what will happen? Let's see. It should work actually. So like has text in the sense like it's like your partial thing. So here you can say like it worked. Okay, but again remember, whenever we are handling the partial things, just make sure like there is no duplication, or else it will end up with like strict mode violation. Okay, yeah, cool. So we are now within the home and here. Okay, now from here, let's say that I want to click on this product, and this is of course the a tag. So that means like I can simply say like text equal to product, or maybe like single quotes enclosed, like product enclosed within the single quotes. Or else if I have to very specific, like I know this thing is like your nav bar, right? So if I go up here, you can see like I have this tag as navbar, which is my entire section. So I can say something based on the text pseudo. So here you can select, we have the text, that is the third one. So here I'm going to say like page dot locator, and then I'm going to say like I have a element called navbar basically, and from there I'm going to say like which has a text, and the text is product. Okay, and of course I'm going to say like dot click, and once we click on the product, it will basically give the URL as letx path. So let's sys out, and here I'm going to say like page.url. I can just copy paste. Yeah, let's go and run this. Okay, so here you can select we got the letx path as a URL. So that means of course the syntax is correct. And one more thing you have to remember, like if I go and copy this particular thing, and if I go to my console and if I paste it, it won't give us like whatever we have discussed now, the text based locator or the hash text pseudo or the text pseudo, nothing will come in your search console. Then how we'll know whether it's correct or not? For that we have to use the debug concept in Playwright, and there are two types of debug. One is the page debug, and another one is the select debug. We'll talk about that in the debugging video. For now it's very easy actually. You can just go with this, or else if you have any concerns, probably you can wait till the debug. Maybe I will bring it very soon. Okay, yeah. So next thing we are going to learn about the visible. For example, here we have two buttons, right? So right click and inspect, and if I go and search for like / button, that means like I have totally 3 buttons. Okay, so 2 are visible and 1 button is hidden. So if you see here, this button which has a style called display none, that means it is hidden. Okay, and other 2 buttons are visible. Now this button and this button both have the same class of bt button dot primary, right? So if I have to write the css, I will say like button dot btn dot btn dash is primary or what? Yeah, it's primary. Yeah, so here I can select, I have 2 buttons, one is the hidden and one is the visible one. Okay, now if I go and say before that, let me navigate to the page. So page dot navigate, and we will go there, and if I say like page dot locator and dot click, what will happen in this case, right? Even though there are like one visible and one hidden button, but still it will throw us the strict mode violation error. Okay, so let's go and confirm that one. Okay, yeah, so here you can select, once we reach the page we are able to see some exception, and if you go up here you can select strict mode violation, and if you see this, you can actually see like get by text is there, get by role is there. Basically, as I said in the starting of the video, internally whatever like we are using this pseudo classes internally used by the get by, that is why they recommend to use the get by, but it's good to learn the core concept, so that's why I'm covering this as well. Okay, now we know that even though one is hidden, one is visible, it's giving us this strict mode because there are 2 matching elements. So I just want to interact which is visible. So what can I do is I can simply say like colon and then followed by visible, and if I run this now, it's going to be very simple. So whatever the buttons are going to be visible, that will be interactable. Of course, in our case only 2 buttons are there, one is visible, one is hidden, so no problem. But just in case if there are multiple visible, then there will be again a problem. Okay, and we can write this in 2 ways. So this is like one way. So this is basically my like css. So in the css we are using the visible pseudo, but just in case let's say that we have XPath and we want to go with the visible. Okay, so I can do that still. So here let me write the XPath for this. So this is going to be my button. So let me copy paste, and I'm going to remove the collection concept. Okay, so here you can select, we have 2 things. Now what can I do is I can simply say like page dot locator, the locator, and I'm going to say dot click. Okay, so once I click on this, here I'm getting something, so I'm just going to print this as well, just to make sure like we are in the correct thing. So here we have like attach as id, so I'm going to get text and I'm going to do the sysout. Okay, now of course we know that this will not work because there will be strict mode violation error. So what can I do is I can just give some space and I can say like visible equals true. Okay, so that's it. That means like now what will happen in the sense like only the visible element will be interactable. Okay, so let me go and run and confirm. Yeah, sorry guys, I got it. So here we have to use this guy called this arrow. That means it's going to be act as a pseudo for your XPath. Okay, now if I go and run this, let's see what happens. First it will work. I use this in my project daily, I just forgot it now. Yeah, so here you can select, we got this guy, and yeah, that's cool. Okay, so the next one we are going to learn about the nth. Nth already we discussed in our previous video also, but that one is like nth function, but here it's going to be like kind of your pseudo element. So for example, here you can see like we have this page dot locator called button. So there are 3 buttons in my page, so 0, 1 and another one is invisible, hidden. Okay, So if I say like nth of 2, that means like here this is my second one, okay, and this is my first one. Of course 0 is hidden, okay. And if I do the click action, and then I will get the text contact as like hey there, okay. It's going to be very fast. So just to show you, or just to get the output, I have added a thread dot sleep of 1 second, okay. So here if you see, if I expand this, you can see hey there, and also am I visible is there, but which is hidden. So in Playwright we have different types of function to get the text. Like one is text content, and there are like inner HTML, and another function is already there. I will leave the card in the description, or maybe somewhere. I will leave that video in the card or in the description. You can go and check it out, okay. So now let's go and run this now. Let's see. So if I go and run this now, so here you can see like we got the first text as well as the second text, and it's really fast, okay. Now just in case if I make it like nth of 1, let's see what happens. So now both the text content should give us the same thing. So here you can see like, yeah, now if I give it like 0, which the element is hidden actually, let's see what happens. I think it will throw a error exception, what we get mostly. And okay, there is no exception, I guess. No, there will be exception. So this one is your first output, okay. So after this we are going to learn the last one, which is this or that, okay. It will throw the error after 30 seconds. Until that it will try to find if the element is there. If it's interactable, all the Playwright stuffs will happen. And here you can see like button dot first, yeah, it's not there, so it's just throwing us some error. It's not visible, okay. And timeout exit error we are getting. Just in case if you want to interact with the last element always, you can do like -1. That means it will always interact with the last element, okay? Yeah, so here you can see hey there, we got this one, okay. So that's a very simple thing. If you have any queries, do let me know that. But before that, before winding up this video, we will learn one more topic, that is this or that, okay. So for example, let's say I'm going to command this one, yeah, and we'll say like page dot navigate, and okay, let me just give you some. So for example, inspect, and I don't have much dynamic to give you the demo, but I'll just take a simple thing, okay. So let's say that we are going to handle the CSS. So this is going to be my full name, so I'm going here, okay. So how does it work in the sense like you can just add a comma and you can specify your another locator. For example, let's say that sometimes this is going to be your full name as a CSS, and sometimes it is going to be like your name, okay. So just in case if you want to specify, so mostly we see this in XPath as well, right? For example, the toast message, sometimes the CSS will be like alert, sometimes the CSS will be like toast. So if you want to handle two XPath or two CSS in the same time, you can use this one, okay. So for example, if I go and run this, it should work fine because we have that full name. If both the elements are not there, it will of course throw the error. If any one matching element is there, then of course it will work, okay. So in this case, definitely it would work. You can do the same with XPath as well. So apart from this, we have a lot of things to learn in Playwright actually. So if you go to this particular documentation, you can see like there are something like layout pseudo classes that we'll learn in the next video. You can leave this to me. Apart from that, also you can see like something like based on the visible, we learned based on the like chaining other element. So this is your parent, which has a child element. You can go with this one, and this is what I was teaching now. So this is like comma, so it's basically like one or any matching any one of the condition. Okay, so you can go with the CSS. Unfortunately, XPath is not supported, I guess. Yeah, and layout I will cover in the next one, and you can go with the nth element. So here you can see like colon nth match. There is also another syntax. So we learned is like from locator we are specifying the index, whereas it is also very same, but here you have to select nth match. Okay, and there are a lot of things you can go and learn from here. There are things like based on React locators, Vue locators, and XPath is there. Also XPath union is there. Okay, so if you want to achieve the same like this one, like this or that, you can go with the XPath union. So you can have your one XPath and then followed by the pipe symbol and then followed by the another XPath. Okay, so if any one of the XPath is correct or available on the DOM, it will work. Okay, and yeah, so all the get bys we already learned, so that's it, fine. Okay, and it says here you can see like page.locator text equal to login text become legacy now. That means you have to use the get by text locator, which is recommended. Okay, yeah, that's it from my side. If you have any queries, feel free to ask me in the comments. I'll be happy to reply, and also join our Discord to learn more. Bye bye, take care.